Flash photography is something that has become second nature to me, so much so that sometimes it actually feels weird shooting without flash. And so what I wanted to do with this shoot is challenge myself to shoot without the benefit of any flash or any photographic lighting. So for this shoot, all I was going to allow myself to use was my old DSLR, a 50mm lens, any light in the room, and window light. When our model Mia came over, we sat down and discussed some of my ideas for the shoot. And because I only set aside about an hour for the photography, I asked her to select only 2 outfits. We set up by the window for our first set, and I decided to play with some foreground effects using some light stands and some really shallow depth of field. Now I shot pretty wide open for most of the shots, 1/125th of a second, and I really didn't worry about focus or blur with these. You know, a little bit of that doesn't hurt in my opinion, and it adds to the mood of these shots. Here you can see I added a stool and a tripod into the foreground grouping, and I just kind of threw these into the mix to see what else I might get with this look. We also threw this colorful mylar fringe over the background stand, keeping with the idea of having something in the foreground. We finished up by going back to the window light for some slightly more risque looks. Our next sequence is a type of shot that I'm not really sure I've ever done without flash. I usually position a single flash just over the subject's head for this, but again, I wanted to challenge myself to do all these without the aid of any photo lighting. For our final sequence, we went over to the futon for a mix of casual and edgier shots. The light coming in on that side of the room was pretty weak, and I wanted to go with a little more depth of field at f4. So I had to bump up my ISO to 1600, and even with that, my shutter speed was going to be a little too slow for my comfort, so I used a tripod to keep the camera steady. Overall, I think I was pretty happy with these shots, and I think it's a good idea to challenge yourself like this on a regular basis. Limiting yourself to a short time frame or to a single lens or in some other way, this helps you learn how to find ways to make the most of any situation, no matter what you have to work with. Hey, I hope you enjoyed this behind the scenes look at my photo shoot. If you liked it, go ahead and give me a thumbs up by clicking that like button. If you haven't already, go ahead and click subscribe, leave me a comment, and hey, as always, thanks for hanging out with me today. I'll see you next time.